NBA DFS show with Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Show. It is Friday. We have 6 games here on the main slate. It's going to be a pretty fun 6 games here, slate-wise, matchup-wise, players in, players out, players who may be out, players who might be in. A lot to decipher here over the next hour. 7 p.m. roster lock here for tonight, going all the way through 10:30 with the Pelicans Lakers. No news in that Pelicans Lakers game though, James, right? Nothing we're waiting for on that one. No big names may or may not be popping up on the injury report there for that game here. You did the playbook today. You had that one out nice and early for everybody to get a quick look at. How you feeling about things as we go into this stream here today, man?
I'm feeling that you used the term, the only thing I heard you say was fun.
Yeah.
Throughout that whole intro, and I couldn't disagree anymore.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, Justin's in here saying hello, so he's here to have some fun.
Oh no, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts. Obviously, some teams are ruling guys in. Some teams, like Philadelphia, just ruled in their new pieces. So Buddy Hield and Cameron Payne are going to make their debuts. Patrick Beverley is going to make his debut. Charlotte decided, nope, nobody's going to make their debut today. So they only have 9 available, including a G League call-up.
Mm-hmm.
Lakers just downgraded. I mean, they didn't have, based on how like their schedule is, they didn't have to fill out an injury report because they played last night until the latest injury report. So we didn't know about Lakers until 30 minutes ago when they first reported their injury report. So obviously AD and LeBron back on the injury report. D'Angelo Russell is listed probable. Tyrese Maxey was a midday downgrade today, which, you know, is not great. We don't know about the Pelicans. They play tomorrow. We've seen Zion sit in back-to-back sets, at least one game. So will he sit tonight? Will he sit tomorrow? Trey Murphy has also sat on back-to-backs. I just found not listed on the injury report. So maybe maybe some correlation there between Zion on the injury report and Trey Murphy not on the injury report for late night hammer. We don't know what these guys in Philly are gonna play, but like without Buddy Hield and Cameron Payne playing, like incredibly shorthanded. We were talking like if you look at the ownership,
they just said that they were both active for tonight, available to play.
I know that's how I started this saying that. Yeah. So like what I'm saying is the ownership, Ricky Council and Terquavion Smith were like 20% rostered at first ownership run, which is what Philly's depth was going to be. So now with their implementation, it like at least clears things up a little bit, but it's like, all right, available, but how much? We've seen people be available.
I almost wonder if their availability actually makes it more likely that Maxey doesn't play.
Yeah, I mean, I think he doesn't play if he's not. I mean, he looked like crap the other night because he was ill, and then he played through it, and then they got blown out. So it makes you wonder what the illness is doing. Toronto, we're still waiting on. The guys that Toronto acquired, Agbaji and Olynyk, are like getting in the afternoon or have already arrived, but like just recently. So like I'm leaning more on the doubtful side for them to play. So then Toronto's going to be a shorthanded. It's going to be a messy slate. We saw Patrick Baldwin ruled out for Washington. They're already shorthanded in the front. It's just a lot. There's a lot of moving pieces on tonight's slate.
Definitely a lot of moving pieces here. And hopefully we get some of that news again. We're here till 6. Ross Luck is 7 o'clock. Maybe some of that information trickles through. Just based off the matchups and information we have right now, we do have Atlanta versus Philadelphia. Philadelphia is getting 3 here. That total is up to 247, opened at 243.5. So some good movement there in terms of game total. The Wizards are against the Celtics in Boston tonight. That line is now 17.5 for Boston as a home favorite, 235 total there. Houston versus Toronto. Toronto's giving a 1.5, 234 game total. Charlotte, Milwaukee given 2 touchdowns, 227.5 game total there in that one against the Hornets. Denver, Sacramento giving 2, 232 total there. And then our late night game, Pelicans, Lakers now getting 3. That one's up from 1.5. 233.5 game total there.
The books just covering themselves on the LeBron and AD front for sure. Who knows? Milwaukee has Patrick Beverley available. Maybe that means Dame doesn't play. Maybe he does. But they got blown out yesterday. They're 1-5 with Doc Rivers, so they obviously need to turn things around pretty quickly. Yeah, good line movement in Atlanta, Philly, obviously as well.
Yeah, 100% there. Let's get into tonight's breakdown, going position by position here. As we noted on the show this morning, they did give LeBron James point guard eligibility here. So he's got the guard forward eligibility. You can put him all over your lineup over on DraftKings. $9,800. Trae Young, 93. Tyrese Maxey, 92. Your top 3-4 guards here. You mentioned being perfectly okay getting to Maxey if he's, or Trae Young rather, yesterday at $9,300. I'm with you there. That price tag, just too cheap for what we're looking at here in this spot against Philly.
Yeah, I mean, Philly's been obviously a bad team without Joel Embiid. They're 4-12 without him this year. So it's just night and day. They are not the same team. We saw the line movement already. We don't know if DeJounte Murray is going to play or not, but it hasn't really mattered all year. Trae's been pretty much nails throughout. So I like Trae at 93 for sure.
Who is your top point guard tonight when it comes to just overall play?
I mean, cover of the playbook's Tyrese Maxey. So if he plays, it's Tyrese Maxey. That just obviously we just don't know. Like he hasn't. I'm not saying he's been fantastic, but he has a big usage bump without Joel Embiid. He has a 1.4 fantasy point per minute average without Embiid and Melton and guys like that. They're shorthanded, and if he plays and is competitive, he's playing 40 minutes. So it's a great matchup. Atlanta's bottom 5 in defense, top 5 in pace. So it would be the answer is Tyrese Maxey if he plays. It's just BF is kind of holding me back a little bit.
Okay. Jason Tatum officially available today. He obviously entered today as questionable with the illness, but did go through shoot around and now officially active tonight for the Celtics. Excuse me. As we work our way through the mid-tier range here, you do have Dame, who's questionable at 89, Jamal Murray, $8,400, De'Aaron Fox, DeJounte, Jalen Green, D'Angelo Russell looking like he's going to play tonight, and then your Celtics guards here. What are we doing in the mid-tier?
I like Jamal Murray if he actually plays. I know so he was dealing with kind of like a shoulder injury in last night's game. Obviously, it didn't matter that much. He had 29, 11, and 7. 3 straight double-doubles for Jamal Murray now. He's been really, really good overall. This has been a great matchup for three-point shooters as well. Jamal Murray has been making and taking a lot of threes of late. So I love Jamal Murray at 8,400. And then really just going right to Jalen Green at 73. Now, obviously, there's a caveat because D'Angelo Russell could have a team to himself here.
Sure.
And we saw it when LeBron and AD sat out against Boston. They outright beat Boston. And I would not project D'Angelo Russell and led Lakers to beat the Pelicans without AD and LeBron. But we know they could be competitive. So right. I think Murray, Jalen Green, D'Angelo Russell are the 3 for me at the next year.
Yeah, agreed. Again, getting that matchup there. Jalen Green, we were in on him, I think it was a couple of games ago against Toronto. They won by a blowout. He didn't have his best performance in that game, but he's coming off of a really strong game against the Pacers there. So I'm in on both of those plays. You know, again, the D'Angelo Russell one, it's unfortunately that's a 10:30, right? So is this a spot where maybe you put Jamal Murray in your lineup and then wait and see the news on the Lakers and hope you get it before that game locks, so you pivot down to Russell? Or how would you approach, building a lineup around D'Angelo Russell? Do you just play him anyways? And then if those guys are in, you pivot down to like CJ McCollum at $6,700 instead? Like how would you go about building a lineup with Russell today?
Yeah, I think that's a viable approach. If you want to put him in your util, save $100 too. You have Zion potentially as an option,
sure, or
McCollum, as you mentioned. I mean, I think there's a lot of exposure I want from the 10 o'clock window or later. Like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope's questionable again. We saw like extended minutes from guys like Peyton Watson and Reggie Jackson last night. So they're viable values to pivot to if you have to. You want Pelicans against the Lakers, considering the Lakers are really fast and bad defensively. not a bad idea to play Nikola Jokic if you want, or Jamal Murray. So you have like a lot of exposure potentially to that game. I like Michael Porter. You can get a lot of exposure to Denver Sack and then leave stuff on the table to pivot to New Orleans, LA, depending on the news you get.
Sure. Big fan of McCollum here tonight. He's one of my underdog picks for tonight's slate. Moving our way down, any other value guards, 6K and under that you're looking to target tonight?
Malik Monk, 56, has been really good. Last three of the last 4 games, 40-plus fantasy points. The minutes are back on the rise for him. Amen Thompson's going to be, once again, your chalk monster of the day. Can't say I disagree with the field. I'm going to play Amen Thompson in all my lineups at 5,300. The aforementioned Reggie Jackson saw 26 minutes last night. Wasn't fantastic, but it is a really good matchup against the Kings. And there started Justin Holiday. So if there's no KCP again, we're going to see Holiday start. And then guys like Jackson, Christian Brown, Peyton Watson get extended off the bench. So if you want to get to some Reggie 41, I think that's okay as well.
Sure. Any other value guards like Campaign? Obviously, if there's no Maxi, I assume you would have some interest here, right? 30 and $100.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not fully convinced they wouldn't start Terquavian Smith, but that's also, I guess, TBD. And also, we don't need to speculate on either of those things because we'll know before 7. So, I'm not going to say it's hard to. He got traded yesterday. So, how much does Campaign know? When Marvin Bagley got traded to Washington, they were like, hey, Marvin, just set picks and roll, right? Like, Campaign has to run an off. Like, he's a point guard. He has to, run the offense. So, TBD on what Philly does in the backcourt if Maxi's out. As of right now, I'm treating it as if Maxi's in, and we'll go from there if he gets ruled out.
Let's see. Jaden Springer rolled out, not going to make his Celtics debut. And then Mason Jones used to have his autograph card. He just signed a 2-way deal with the Kings. So let's go over to shooting guard. Jaylen Brown's there. Obviously, Jason Tatum downgrades him a little bit more in this matchup where the Celtics are 17.5 point home favorites. Then you have Brandon Ingram, Brandon Miller, DeJounte Murray, RJ Barrett, Jalen Green, that whole group there, 7K and up. Thoughts on Brandon Miller here tonight? His point projection props at 25.5, highest that it's been in a little bit. Obviously, the matchup against Milwaukee, but it's been big performances from Bridges the last couple of nights. We saw Cody Martin have a huge game. Do you worry that takes away at all from Brandon Miller, or are you still now Charlotte has nobody playing for them tonight, so it's just 40 minutes ink for Brandon Miller here?
I mean, he could hit 25.5 points, and it doesn't matter in DFS because he doesn't sometimes get peripheral stats. So those two things aren't very exclusive here. The price is scary at 7,500 for me because he has scored really well. And obviously, this is a good spot. I expect, with none of those guys active, they just run the same starting lineup. Cody Martin, Miller, Bridges, Leaky Black, and Nick Richards. That's probably your starting lineup. And then your bench unit is Nick Smith, Bryce McGowan's, Nathan Mensah, JT Thor, and they called Amari Bailey up. So that's your team. He's going to play 40 minutes unless this game is absolutely blowout, no point in playing.
Salute to you, really. Thank you.
So you look at it all right, there's obviously a ceiling. There also could be, it's one of those things. I like him in tournaments. I like the upside. It's just what peripheral stat day are we going to get? Because if it's going to be like it was the other day, if he doesn't get you 30 actual, then you're not getting there. So I'm indifferent about Brandon Miller. He didn't make my playbook.
Okay.
But I would obviously have I can't say he doesn't have a ceiling because he went for 50 fantasy points in 3 games prior.
Yeah, you highlighted Jalen Green. We've talked a lot about RJ Barrett. Barrett, someone you're looking at here tonight against Houston?
Yes, he is someone who made the playbook. It just hasn't mattered who's been available, and you said it on the show last night where I don't know why you're I don't know why I keep expecting RJ Barrett to not score what he's scoring because this isn't, we're just used to what RJ Barrett's been for 3 years with the Knicks.
Right.
And now he is in a much more freedom area where like Scotty Barnes is an emerging star, but still like defers a lot. And Emmanuel quickly is still learning how to, play 35 plus minutes, and they don't have Siakam or OG anymore. Like Barrett is free to take as many shots as he wants, free attacking. He's been really good on the glass, sneaky good passing too, with the assists outside of like one game where he still had 29 and 9 in that one. So,
yeah. And no Dennis Schroeder here. So curious to see like if they don't get those guys joining their team tonight, like what that means just for usage, right? Because Schroeder's a guy that does pass the ball really well, but also looks for his offense when on the floor. So yeah, I'm with you there. And I did it again too. I still haven't pulled the trigger. It's 21.5 points for RJ Barrett. Like he's probably going to get there, but I just can't get over the mental block of taking the over on his scoring.
Something interesting for, and we've talked about how bad Houston has been this year on the road.
Yeah.
They're even like, and this is weird, but like even their defense doesn't travel. They're 18th in the league in defensive rating on the road. They're second in defensive rating at home. So some food for thought there. Like we've said it all year long. Like they aren't good on the road. And this is another scenario. They just got torched in Indiana, like gave up a lot of points, and now are traveling to Toronto. Just saying, like they've been a bad defensive team on the road for one reason or another. Look for RJ to get after it again tonight.
Yeah, I like it. Working our way down the list here, under 6K. You talked Monk already. Talked Damon Thompson. Hoarders 5K. Buddy Hield's 5K. Malik Beasley, no Middleton tonight. 49. Dylan Brooks is 48. Whitmore 47. Trent 46. Pretty strong tier of, I think we've called this before, just like the same player from like 5K and below. But Hield, I think, gets a bump for me if he's in the starting lineup tonight.
I could see him playing like 40 minutes.
Right?
Just like when you look at Philly, we were talking about it last night. We were trying to like figure out what they were going to do. If Maxey plays and Hield starts, I would say you have Maxey, Harris, Oubre, Hield, Reed, and then you have KJ Martin come off the bench. And then if Hield comes off the bench, I would say just KJ Martin's your starting. But like, there's no reason KJ Martin's like locked into 30 minutes. So you could just play Oubre or Toby at the 4, right? And then you're playing Buddy Hield as long. They showed him clips of him like at shoot around, like already shooting, like
he's got the easiest job in the world. Hey, go get open, right? Like
come off a pin down screen and like flash for a open 3
in the corner.
And like he's a good playmaker like I'm definitely intrigued by him more than some of the other pieces that are active, just because he was, one, the headline of the trade. 2, he's not a point guard, so he doesn't have to like bring the ball down and like run the offense or whatever. They're just like, hey, buddy, come off a couple screens. Like here's a couple actions for you that you need to know. He's probably like, oh, I know these actions because we ran them in wherever, right? Like, so yeah, I think Buddy Hield is pretty interesting. If he doesn't start, a little more trepidation there. I would say I'd prefer if he started, but 5K, it's worth it taking a shot in the tournament.
Yeah, not starting feels like maybe there's like a 20-minute potential. If he starts, I agree with you. I think the minutes are going to rock there for him. And I don't really go away from any of these other guys. Over the last 3 games, no team is allowing more 3-pointers to opponents in Toronto, which I mean, kind of green light. They're averaging over 19 3-pointers allowed per game to their opponent over the last 3. We know Cam Whitmore fires. We know Dylan Brooks not afraid. Jalen Green, you talked about. Gary Trent on the other side of that game, going to shoot a lot of threes here tonight. Could see more minutes. So all of these guys definitely out here to shoot.
It's funny how Brooks is $100 more than Cam Whitmore. Like definitively more minutes for Brooks if he stays out of foul trouble. Definitive starting role versus Whitmore is like still 20-minute roll off the bench. It's just funny how. And you saw the ownership. I mean, Whitmore was like 30% last slate. Brooks was like 8%, and Brooks goes off 36 fantasy points. He's obviously super like, here's another, I believe Dylan Brooks Canadian national. So, or he's a Canadian. He was on the Canadian national team. So just going into Canada, they just saying, just headed home for this game. So,
Okay.
I like Dylan Brooks more than I like Cam Whitmore. Not to say I don't like Cam Whitmore, because
where are you and Gary Trent on the other side?
I mean, to your point, like there's no Dennis Schroeder, so you're now entering the game potentially like. My opinion, no Agbaji, no Kelly Olynyk. 5:30 injury reports coming around the corner, so we should have maybe a more definitive answer on that front soon. But
do you think Agbaji actually gets minutes for this team?
he is. I mean, he's him and Grady Dick, Spider-Man meme, right? Like 3-point wing shooters. We'll see. So what do they have to lose? He was a first-round pick last year. And maybe the reason they gave up a first-round pick in this draft was because, they look at, well, we're not going to get anything better than Ochai Agbaji, so let's just take a shot on a guy who, shot well last year. Obviously not having a good year at all this year, but that could also be being in and out of a rotation all year is kind of hard to, get up for. I don't know. I don't know. I don't, have a lean either way if Agbaji plays long-term, but I do think Gary Trent remains in the top 6 tonight, probably pushes for 30 minutes. I think the Schroeder minutes, Coach Chris, what's going on, brother? I think the Schroeder minutes distributed in some form to Trent, Grady Dick, and Bruce Brown, probably.
Such a wild card Bruce Brown's going to be.
But it is such a wild card because now that he's traded, was he being limited? Because he had a couple of games where he was playing upper 30s minutes for Bruce Brown. And then they limited him, and there's always
only Bruce Brown, by the way.
Yeah, it's weird position stuff. But it's always weird around the trade deadline where some guys randomly stop playing a lot of minutes, and then you're like, well, that was seemingly because he was available for a trade, and then he doesn't get dealt, and now it's well, does Bruce Brown go back to playing upper 30s minutes because he's better than 75% of the roster on this team?
He also can play every position, but the one he's actually listed at today.
Sure.
He's a point guard, shooting guard, and small forward if they want to roll him out there. So can fill a lot of holes there. Small forward, again, top end guys, LeBron and Tatum. Tatum's going to be in tonight. Bridges coming off back-to-back 40 actual point games. He plays the entire first quarter as well, so it could get off to a hot start here. 11-3 is the last 2 games. Told Charlotte, I'm not going anywhere. You're not trading me. I'm not waving. So, I mean, loves being with the team. Milwaukee, terrible defensively. You mentioned they're now 1-5 under Doc Rivers. We talked about last night. Has there ever been a team to fire 2 head coaches in a single season? We may see that if they continue to slide here. Is Bridges too much at $8,600 for you?
I just said I'm not going anywhere because he went to Phoenix. Those 27, 26, 23 shots would become 3, 6, and 7 shots.
Basically, yeah, he's trying to get paid next year. He can't go somewhere where he won't shoot.
I don't think so, because Milwaukee's been subpar defensively in every facet. Now it's guards, forward, everybody. We've talked about it, been bad against the spread, been bad at putting bad teams away. Really bad teams have stayed competitive with them. And one thing that we've alluded to the entire season is and that's why I'm also I was kind of hedging on Brandon Miller, because there's a scenario where it's okay, this game's out of hand, he comes off the floor. But then there's a scenario where Steve Clifford has physically said we don't have enough NBA players on caliber players on this team, so I just play the guys. So
we're not good enough, I think is what he said.
Tyrese Maxey officially a game time decision per Nick Nurse. So maybe we'll get more clarity on Buddy Hield minutes as well. And okay, so there is official quote from Nick Nurse. Says there is a chance Buddy Hield and Cam Payne will be playing major roles tonight. So
that feels like Maxey ain't playing and Buddy Hield's locked in. So
Nick Nurse says there's a chance. He said so.
Both have a good chance to start, according to
yes. That's I was reading through the rest of my beat writer list, and it said the following question was about starting. And he said good chance. So that's obviously, and we said it on the show yesterday about the Jericho Sims thing, where Tibbs said, yeah, I have 8 guys available. And they hadn't ruled Jericho's, just tea leaves, right? It's the tea leaves. If good chance to start, that means, tea leaves. That means Tyrese Maxey is probably not playing, right?
I just bet and land on the money line. We're just gonna plug that in, and we'll see what happens there.
No, it's a
minus 145 on the money line, -3. Like, I'll take the minus 145 there. That's fine. All right. Other small forwards, we worked our way down the list. Are you in on Scotty Barnes? We've gone back and forth there.
No.
What's up, Anthony? Happy you can make the show here today, my friend. And he's obviously a Sixers fan. He's
not happy. Well, he's always wearing the Eagles jersey in his
Buddy Hield ain't no bum, man. Yeah, Buddy Hield's a pretty good player.
I think there was definitely okay. So I don't think the Hield trade was wrong. I think giving Jaden Springer away for nothing was like a weird thing. But there's already reports that Kyle Lowry is going to sign in Philly post the buyout.
Trading Beverly after telling him you're not trading Beverly, right? So,
yeah, I mean that was so like that's obviously two like your best defending guards you just get rid of. Is Kyle Lowry the answer in that regard? That's a dicey proposition.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, it doesn't matter if Embiid doesn't come back. So like,
agreed.
I don't think the Hield trade was bad. I think giving away, yes, a big man would have helped. I also think Paul Reed. I think I'm probably higher on Paul Reed than a lot of other people. But yeah.
I mean, your big man is obviously your Embiid protection, but like, what big was out there? It was Drummond, right? Like you would have had to go get.
There was reports, by the way, Drummond to Philly. That was like
it's not like there was like this big man that was really available.
No,
like Robin Lopez is on the buyout market.
Did you see Robin Lopez at the Bucks game?
Yeah,
reading a book front row. That was amazing.
Anyways, back to Scotty Barnes here. 8,500. Any interest?
No.
Okay. Let's see. Talk Jalen. Toby by himself.
You just plug. Yeah, just ish. No, he's by himself. He's by himself. If there's no Maxey, like, yeah, Kelly Oubre's a fine player. Paul Reed's a fine player. Buddy Hield. This is Tobias.
Cameron Payne won playoff games for the Suns. Okay.
I'm the captain now. Tobias Harris meme. Like, let's be real.
No, you couldn't have gotten Bridges. Bridges didn't want to get traded.
He said he was rejecting all trades.
Yeah.
He was not going anywhere. And I do know the Bridges family is from Philly. So like that is obviously
his mom worked for the team.
Yeah, worked for the team, right? So like there's obviously a connection, but he rejected all trades. So he had the best contract available was probably Miles Bridges. 1 year, $10 million. Like that was the best expiring deal around. But because he's the only player of his caliber for $10 million out there right now. But obviously we know why. But I'm just saying, like, he was not available.
Yeah.
But Tobias Harris is available tonight. $7,800. I'm lock and loading Toby, especially if Tyrese Maxey's out.
Yep, agreed with you on that one. Working our way down. A lot of these guys we've discussed already. Ingram, Miller, Barrett, Denny, Porter Jr., Sadiq Bey, Hunter. Like, the 6K tier is kind of meh when there's Buddy Hield at 5K also available at small forward.
So I like Michael Porter a lot. And I alluded to it when we talked about Jamal Murray. The Kings just allow a lot of 3-point shots. 5th most made threes per game for opponents when it comes to the Kings. Mikal Bridges' mom. My apologies. I thought it was Miles Bridges. It was Mikal Bridges. You are correct, Chris. I'm in the camp that who were we talking about? We were talking about
Michael Porter.
I just completely lost my train of thought. Michael Porter coming off his best shooting night in a while, 11 for 20 from the floor, hit 4 threes last night, 8 rebounds. He's an elite floor spacer, and we just saw last night in a really good matchup against a bad 3-point allowing team. Ford made threes, max ceiling game for Porter. I think we can see that again. Big pace-up spot for Denver tonight, 6,100, multi-position eligible. I think there's a less of a chance Michael Porter gets pulled for defense in games where KCP is not available and like games are competitive. So I like Michael Porter quite a bit at 61.
Okay. Where are we going under 6K? What's your small forward picks here?
I mean, Healed, obviously, we already talked about. I'm monitoring the Zion news because we have Herb at 44, Trey Murphy at 45. I cannot believe Jay Crowder played another 37 minutes last night because they were down by 1 million. But like, alas, he played another 37 minutes. You have to assume he starts again with Chris Middleton ruled out. Going right back to the Jay Crowder well, 4,500. I wrote up Corey Kispert in today's playbook. I think Kispert has a pretty good ceiling going the last 3 games.
Might get some Toronto news here. We just got Jonte Porter in for tonight, so we'll see if we get anything else going there.
Yeah, we need to. I will look at the injury report. We can just see if there's any updates. They don't have it. I don't see it on NBA.com yet. They don't have the 5:30. At least I don't see the 5:30 available yet on NBA.com. So we will, I guess, wait for that. And then anything else at small forward?
Sorry, did you mention Kispert while I was reading
did.
that?
Yes, I did. Kispert, Crowder, Connaughton, all 3 guys. I guess like Taurean Prince, mild interest with if like Taurean Prince, Hachimura, if any of those Lakers sit. Max Christie was ruled out, so we'd get like Hachimura and Prince probably starting if Davis and
Anthony, I don't know. I don't think I'm stacking Boston as a 17.5 point home favorite here against the Wizards. They may get 3 quarters of play. I think you can play 1 if you wanted to. Porzingis or Tatum probably, but I would worry about some minutes and production limitations there if that game goes the way Vegas is gonna have it go. If I had to pick Davis or Tatum, I'd probably go AD, but again, he's questionable to play tonight, so you'd have to have some pivots available to you to make that one work if he's ruled out there. So,
looking at a video of Darko shaking Kelly Olynyk's hand.
Kelly O,
he's there. Does that mean I don't know if he's playing?
He's not on the slate. Oh wait.
No, yes, he is. DraftKings. I got the email today that said DraftKings like sent an update. Added like 10 players.
Yeah. He's $4,300. Kelly O, 43 if he's in.
Now there's nothing that is literally just a video of a beat writer, and the quote says, "Welcome to the Raptors, Kelly. I'm Darko," and it's Darko shaking Kelly Olynyk's hand, who's sitting on the bench. So like, there's nothing official on that. Just also mentioning that Kelly Olynyk is there.
Andy, DeJounte Murray is still questionable, but that's a 7:00 game. We'll know before roster lock there, so don't worry about it. All right, let's move to power forward. Giannis is 11-8 against Charlotte. You or the unfortunate player of Giannis last night, 27 minutes in the blowout loss to Minnesota. Charlotte, though, much better spot for anybody. Now in that game against Charlotte early this year, only 28 minutes in that one too, went for 39 fantasy points. I would imagine that was due to a blowout win in that one. Let's scroll our way down. 130-99 the victory. He only had 10 shot attempts in that game, still nearly triple doubled. Also had 5 fouls as well. So, good bounce back spot. No one's going to play him at 11-8 tonight. So,
yeah, we just got ownership update, and I'll get that updated shortly. But he's like 11%, I think, is what I just saw. He is officially on DraftKings.
Almost 13.
16. Oh yeah, that's FanDuel. I'm looking at FanDuel. He's 16% on FanDuel and 13 on DraftKings.
Mm-hmm. Your boy is actually a chalk monster here tonight. We'll talk about that in a moment.
I mean, yeah, he is. I told you. I've been telling you.
Let's see. Zinger's there at 79. Toby, Kuzma, Jalen Johnson, $7,400. Pretty good spot for him there. Zion, if he's in, at 71, not terrible. What's your power forward feelings here this evening, James?
So I wrote Toby up. I wrote Jalen Johnson up tonight. I like Jalen Johnson. I like the matchup. Philly's bad defensively without Embiid, as we mentioned. I wish there was a little more consistency to Jalen Johnson, but even when they've been fully like I guess they haven't been full capacity, but DeAndre Hunter's obviously still limited. They've been without DeJounte Murray the last few games, but Jalen Johnson's minutes just haven't gone anywhere. They've been 35 plus basically in every game since returning from injury. And he's gone for 50 in 2 of his last 3 games. He is a super good rebounder. He's a fantasy point per minute guy over that, almost 1.1 without Clint Capella this year. So I love Jalen Johnson at 74. I have no problem going to Zion at 71. I'm just also a little skeptical he plays. The more I looked into things today with the back-to-back tomorrow. So
who do they play tomorrow?
Portland.
You think he plays versus the Lakers or versus Portland?
I feel like he'd want to play versus the Lakers, but maybe that's again. I think there's something of a correlation. I think it is official. Yeah, it's in Portland tomorrow. Tonight's a national TV game, NBA TV. So I'll say he sits tonight, plays tomorrow. But I'm also that line moved 3.5. Like we don't even know if maybe he gets word like LeBron and AD don't play. Maybe like LeBron calls him up before the game, like, hey, well, I'm not playing tonight. You wanna sit out this one too? Or
yeah, possible for sure. Oubre 64. We'll talk about Gonku at center. Aaron Gordon 59. There is Bruce Brown, Jabari at 54, Keegan Murray 53. Where are we looking in the 5K tier?
This tier is Jabari Smith for me. 40 minutes last game without Van Vliet. That had obviously been a concern for 3 straight games. Was really good. 1 rebound shy of a double-double. And it's like a price point thing too. If you're going to tell me that Jabari Smith at $5,400 in a really good spot against the Raptors, who are 29th in defense since making the trade to send OG Anunoby to the Knicks, I mean, sign me up. He's a dude. You were paying mid-7s earlier in the season when like guys were out, and now, hey, guess what? Guys are out. Tari Eason and Fred VanVleet are out. So it's just plug and play Jabari Smith season for me at 5,400 and move on.
Maxey not currently on the court going through his usual pregame warm-ups. So
I feel like that's been a pretty good indicator for us, right? Like that has been pretty.
Kyrie Irving not on the court, didn't play. Maxey not on the court during his usual time for warm-ups, not going to play. So
yeah, it's been pretty consistent. Okay, so official word from a Raptors beat writer is Olynyk and Agbaji will likely play tomorrow if their medical is clear.
Okay.
So seems like, which I figured because they got there late. So it seems like tomorrow the Raptors play and Agbaji will play then and Olynyk will play then, but it does seem like it's all but confirmed that they're not going to play today.
Yes, Tatum is good to go here tonight. Would I play Horford? No, I would not play Horford tonight.
Not at 6K. You missed the boat if you didn't play him at 51.
Yeah, everybody's healthy. Blow a game. I'm not going to go there tonight.
Well, I think Anthony, you're actually a FanDuel player, aren't you? You play FanDuel. Let's see what Horford.
I still don't think I'm playing Horford even on FanDuel though.
I don't either. I just wanted. I'm more so. He's 6,100. Yeah, no thanks.
Let's see. Prince 44. Your guy Yumi Yori is power forward center here. Second highest projected roster player on the slate.
You're telling me something I knew was coming. They don't have center. They ruled out Rashawn Holmes. Then they ruled out Patrick Baldwin. They traded Daniel Gafford and don't have Marvin Bagley. Like it's Omayuri, Anthony Gill, small ball Kyle Kuzma. That's their center room tonight. And could they theoretically go Kuzma starting 5? Because it's not like he's matched up against Porzingis, I'm sure, in the past. Like that's he's also probably played a lot against him in practice last year, right? Mm-hmm. Where they were teammates. So you could, in theory, see Kuzma go start as a small ball 5. You could also see Anthony Gill start. I wouldn't be surprised by that either. Not that I'd have any interest in Anthony Gill.
If he does that probably knocks ownership off of your guy here.
Probably. And I'm telling you, I think he's in the rotation. I mean, he was their backup center last game. He played 13 minutes in the last game, almost 17 fantasy points in 13 minutes. There's there is an obvious ceiling because he has been a fantasy point per minute freak of nature.
Yeah.
The entire dude, he's averaged 6 minutes per game this year, and he averaged 10 fantasy points. Like he's at 1.5. I put it in the playbook. 1.5 fantasy points per minute, 26% usage. That's nuts. Like that's nuts. Just if he gets extended, there's a lot of outcomes that also include 6 fouls in 13 minutes. But in those 13 minutes, he might also have 4 blocks, 6 rebounds, and like 8 points. And then you're talking about like, yeah, he played 13 minutes, but he had 27 fantasy points because he's a freak of nature in that department.
Agreed. Chris, did you play Healed yet? Because he's exactly 5K. If you haven't, let us know. 7,300 for John. Is that best play of $7,300 or less? I mean, Zion's there for sure. We definitely like Zion. Let's see.
RJ Barrett.
Jalen Green, 73.
Barrett or Green for me.
Yeah. RJ Barrett or Jalen Green for you, John. And Coach, did you play Buddy Healed yet? He's 5K. So let us know. Yeah, we all like Healed for sure. Plug him in.
Nick Nurse has gone on the podium and said there is a chance that both Healed and Payne not only start but play big roles because Tyrese Maxey not going through warm-ups right now with the illness. So they traded for Buddy Hield. They are very shorthanded. Terquavian Smith and Ricky Council the fourth are their backup guards tonight if Maxey sits. So yeah, I think Hield might play until he needs to, until he gives Nurse like the hey, I need one here. Like give me a couple minutes.
Anthony, to get Tatum, Bridges, and Jokic in your lineup, you're gonna have to fit Yumiuri. You're gonna have to play Campaign. What's Cody Martin's price at? Cody Martin
on
52.
Is this a Anthony? Is this a FanDuel question?
He says he plays both. So
play both. Okay, he's 57 on FanDuel, so he probably can't. I also like. It seems like they're not going to extend Cody Martin. I'm not saying I wouldn't play him, but also like not extend him past like 28, 30 minutes. He just like doesn't. He's been dealing with his knee, which was the knee he got surgery on.
Yeah.
So like they're just like 30 minutes max.
I threw a stab at his first quarter prop tonight because it's 2.5. To get over 2.5, he's going to start. Need him to get 1-3, or a couple buckets here. Take a shot. Yes, we like Trey. Maxey was the cover of the playbook, but now that Maxey's likely not to play, Trey's same right there, same price point, $100 can pivot up there. Unless you're worried about a blowout, I guess we'll find out. Let's move to center. Joker at 11-6 against Sacramento. He went for all the fantasy points in that first meeting. 84, 36, 14, and 13 for Jokic there in that first matchup against the Kings. Sabonis on the flip side of that matchup had 49 fantasy points, 17, 15, and 7. He's 10-3. Anthony Davis on the questionable tonight, 10-2. We've already talked a lot. We're looking to prioritize Jokic here if we can.
Yes. He had a bad shooting night, a lot of turnovers last night, 60 fantasy points. 1 rebound one assist shy of a triple-double. If Murray's at all hobbled by that shoulder, which, again, he did pop up in the injury report as probable, but injury report nonetheless. If Murray's at all limited or is deferring, I mean, it's going to be the Nikola Jokic show. Sabonis is good. Good offensive player.
Yeah.
Traditionally started his career as a power forward, and now he's having to guard guys like Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid every night, right? Like, it's a tough spot for Sabonis. And, this is a monster pace-up spot for Jokic and Denver. It's a bad defense Sacramento has coming off a loss against I think 2 straight losses, actually. Yeah, they got blown out against Cleveland and then lost at home against Detroit and then didn't make any trades at the deadline.
Right.
So, yeah, Jokic in elite spot. I'm perfectly fine getting to Sabonis. He's a walking triple-double if you want to get there. Also, I like Anthony Davis if he plays. This does feel like a spot that LeBron and Davis could sit. Also, they've had questionable tags every night. It's really hard to necessarily predict if they sit.
AD does love playing against the Pelicans.
Loves playing against Pelicans. They've played back. It's not like they now the problem is they haven't had back-to-back, so they haven't had to be in this predicament. They played in December.
Yeah.
on back-to-back. So
the Lakers have the best schedule in the NBA.
They do. No, they really do. They have not had a back-to-back since December. Like, that is how you know. They didn't have like 3 and 4 night. Like, they haven't even had. They've had nothing of like toughness to their schedule. So yes, I'm in on all three. I'd rank Jokic, AD, Sabonis if all are active.
Okay. DePrance, Grande will throw his core 4 for you in the Discord. That's on request. That's not something we just always do. Someone asked the other day if we had a core 4, I gave it to him. James will be happy to give that to you. Paul Reed is a safe play. We'll keep going down center in a second here. Anthony will talk about him. Then, as Mr. Polocash always says, hit the like button, everybody. Helps us out a lot with the growth of our channel. So if you haven't already hit that like button, please do so. If you're new and haven't hit subscribe, we do the show every day live, 5 p.m. Eastern time. We also do a pre-show that comes out at night, so you can get ready for the next day's slate before we go live here. So check it out.
Shout out to you, Hidden Darts.
Kelly Olynyk and Agbaji available to make their Raptors debut.
Nightmare! What a nightmare! That's a nightmare.
So
let's see if there's. All right, they're available. Let's see if there's anything.
They could just be on the bench, like maybe they'll available to play, but we'll play tomorrow is different than, available to play and we'll play tonight,
Yeah, I'm hoping we get like that is still official. Yeah, I'm watching Blake Murphy. He works at Sportsnet for the Blue Jays and the Raptors. He has a thread going. They both went through pregame warmups, now they're available. I'm hoping this thread continues and says like available, but will not play. Because that would just make things a little messy if they are available.
Agreed. Of course, we're in on Şengün here tonight, Chris. That's always one of James's favorite centers here. Offense, no Van Vliet, the assists, the rebounds, the scoring. Can definitely run some Şengün at 9K if you're looking to go in that direction. And Anthony, we do have Discord. If you sign up, become a Fantasy Alarm member, we have a premium Discord where you get access to myself, James, and the rest of the NBA team, answering your start-sit questions. The Prince is in there. He knows about it. A lot of you guys are in our Discord that are tuning in here today. They can let you know. Totally worth it. Go to fantasyalarm.com/win, become a premium member, get our premium Discord access there, along with access to all of our premium content, not just NBA, but NHL, NFL, MMA, PGA, NASCAR, you name it. We cover it. Get access to our fantasy baseball draft guide as well right now if you become a Fantasy Alarm All-Pro member. So fantasyalarm.com/win to take advantage of that here today. Don't worry, Prince. You can always watch us on a rerun. You can check out, start the show at the beginning, so you don't miss anything there. Mid-tier centers, we talked Porzingis and Kuzma and all that group already. Valanciunas is questionable. You have Jakob Poeltl at 62. You have Onyeka Okongwu, who I love, at $6,200 here as well. Nick Richards, Paul Reed. What are we thinking of the mid-tier here?
So yeah, the Şengün play obviously is solid. The Poeltl thing, Jonte Porter active and Kelly Olynyk active. I was a little more bullish when that wasn't the case. But we'll see how many minutes Kelly.
Do you think Kelly plays a lot of 5, or do you think he plays more 4 on this team?
I think there's a chance for a lot of different. Darko is always trying different lineups out. So they've got a lot of small ball lineups. So like, wouldn't be surprised to see Kelly O as like a small ball 5, because he also, like he hasn't had like a stable center rotation to begin with. Jonte Porter wasn't even on the team. Thad Young wasn't playing until injuries, and Chris Boucher has been terrible and now doesn't play at all. So like, we'll see. I'm not totally sure, but Poeltl, if he's going to play his normal allotment of minutes, I definitely think a double-double is in our future here, because that's just what Poeltl workman-like performance does. And Okongwu is a great play. Been really, really solid, filling in for Clint Capella. Unfortunately, Capella is not dealt at the deadline. That was kind of sad to see, but as long as he's out and Okongwu is going to play 34-plus minutes, he's going to score a lot. The rebounding was kind of...
We got this exact matchup already this year. He had 19 and 11 in 36 minutes. No Capella, no Embiid in that game. So
yeah, I mean, it's the writing's on the wall for Okongwu. He's a very good player. I am fond of Paul Reed in fantasy land. He only took 6 shots last game. I think he's definitely more aggressive especially in a game where there's no Tyrese Maxey too. or potentially no Tyrese Maxey. He's very active defensively. He's very good on the glass. And this isn't a spot where Ngannou can space the floor, but he doesn't spend his entirety on the perimeter. Nganou's always crashing the glass. So I do like Paul Reed a bit. I would lean Ngannou of the two, but if you need to save $400, obviously Paul Reed's right there.
Sure. Where are we going under Paul Reed here? Any value centers for you here tonight?
I mean, if you don't like Paul Reed and you think there's a chance Paul Reed's in foul trouble, Mo Bamba's like the direct backup. They lost Marcus Morris, to trade, so they don't have the ability to really go to small ball route anymore. So Bamba's fine at 44. I don't hate Peyton Watson if Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is rolled out. He played 25 minutes yesterday with Justin Holiday starting. So Peyton Watson off the bench would be fine. If AD sits, they're going to start Jackson Hayes. Have to consider it, just given what he did in his few starts earlier in the year. Christian Wood's probably still going to get all the ownership, but Jackson Hayes was obviously the better play during that stretch. I still think Christian Wood's better fantasy player, but it was Jackson Hayes playing, getting all the minutes. And then if Valanciunas doesn't play, that's another questionable tag we have to deal with for the late night window. Larry Nance is going to start and play all the minutes he can handle at center for New Orleans. So there's a bunch of different centers, including Omiuri, who he could play here at center, including Anthony Gill, who probably starts, but no interest even if he does. Anthony brought up Trey Lyles. Yeah, I mean, Trey Lyles has definitely been solid over the last couple games. When he makes shots, they extend him mid-20s minutes, but if he doesn't go 5 for 7 or 5 for 10 from 3, he's playing low 18s.
If he hits his first 3, you're in for a good day. Otherwise, it could be a short night. So.
Yep.
All right, let's get a lineup build here then. Obviously, we know the Philly news here, so do we plug in Payne in here?
Largely know the Philly news.
Well, yeah, the writing's on the wall here.
Yeah, writing's on the wall. I mean, Toby is definitely the preferred. Like, I would also plug Toby. I'm okay playing as many Philly guys as they possibly can.
Okay. Get your boy in here. Omiuri. Can Toby play small forward too? He can. Perfect. Omiuri, Harris. 6K. Getting the Joker in here.
Sorry, I was just updating the ownership here. 6K for guard, forward, util.
You like Jabari? We talked about that one earlier.
Yeah, plug Jabari Smith for sure. And Amen Thompson, 53.
All right, that gives us a $7,300 util, which is the
exact question. I wonder if we just built the same lineup as that. It's literally either 3 stacking your Jalen Green or playing RJ Barrett.
We'll run RJ back. So campaign Buddy Hield, Tobias Harris, Omiuri, Jokic, Thompson, Smith, and Barrett. Wait, campaign is playing? He is. The exact Nick Nurse quote was expected to play a lot.
And then could start. And
he's going to start. So we got to wait for the official Maxey news, but that game's at 7 o'clock. We'll know. Maxey was not on the court for his usual pregame warmups. Payne could very well start tonight. Either way, Nurse said he's in for a lot of minutes. A big role, I think it was. Could both be playing a big role tonight. So.
Big role, yep.
There's just an example lineup for everybody for this slate. James has the updates going out now. Ownership's out. Everybody, good luck with your weekend. Have fun with the Super Bowl. We'll be back here Monday. We'll talk it down, break it down the new. Actually, yes, we will be here Monday, but NBA All-Star Week is next week. So Friday, no show, and then we're off for about a week after that. So get ready, get your action in, and we will catch you all later.